Yeah, well, see what he says, right? I'm your, what did he say? Vengeance? I'm
Your retribution.
I'm your retribution.
I am your retribution.
Yeah.
I'm your Venus. I'm your fire.
Fire.
I'm your vehicle, baby.
I am the walrus. I am the Eggman.
Cuckoo.
Yeah.
Look at you.
You said if it wishes to save itself, the entire system must devote itself to the task of getting this guy out of public life forever. Every criminal prosecution should hit the afterburners. Every civil suit must proceed apace. The Democratic Party should dedicate itself, body and soul, to hanging this decrepit bag of poison around the neck of every Republican,
Yes.
local and national. If you have Republicans on your town council, they must answer for him as surely as his congressional acolytes and enablers must. His name should be a political curse for generations to come. You just said this is going to require people in my business to unshackle themselves from some of the more staid norms and customs of the tribe. This is a time for plain speaking with as much contempt and derision as we can muster. Here, Charlie. That's some excellent bulleting, as we say.
Thank you, my people.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we've been saying it forever, but it's the normalization of this, right? That is part of what got us here.
Yeah, I mean, all of the coverage of the Waco rally, or all of the coverage that I read, had him pushing back against his tormentors. You know, the obvious story of the Waco rally is he's out of his freaking head.
Yeah.
You know, a public lunatic got up and gave a speech for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Apparently, people got tired and left too.
They did.
Yes.
They did.
Like 30 minutes in.
Yeah, within a half an hour.
We've seen this before.
Uh-huh.
By the way, did I see he did a Hannity interview or something?
Last
and he
night.
said there were, how many people did he say were there? So
50,000
laughable.
million?
So
11
laughable.
billion.
Like,
Yeah.
of course, I could see.
11 billion people.
Yeah. I mean, it's something laughable. I don't know. I mean, I've heard all kinds of estimates, but I heard maybe not even
Maybe
2,000.
10. No, I think
maybe
it was
more than
closer
that.
to
He also said that Ron DeSantis would be working in a pizza parlor if it
Or
weren't
a cigar
for him.
shop.
Or
Yeah.
yeah.
Pizza Hut or
Whatever.
I
Yeah.
don't know why.
They both track.
Well, I'm not altogether opposed to that outcome, but
Well, no, neither am I.
I just don't want it to happen in favor, to his benefit.
Right.
Yeah. You picked out the same quote I did that I just, you're a historian, Charlie. Just, we have nothing to fear but fear itself. And then I never liked Horseface. She's not the one. She'd never be the one.
First of all, Stormy is not a horse face.
She's beautiful.
She's just beautiful.
She really is.
Yeah. Yeah. And you
Prince
said,
Charles is a horse face.
There you
yes,
go.
there you go.
There
And
It's
you go.
unfortunate
Camilla, a
that
little
nature-
horsey.
It's unfortunate that nature did that to him, but that's just the way it goes.
Hey, Camilla, why the long face?
Oh.
What?
And I believe I did used to say that Paula Jones could eat an apple through a picket fence. But
You
yeah,
did,
Stormy Daniels,
repeatedly.
not a...
You said that to Susan Carpenter McMillan.
How's your client?
Did you really?
Yes,
Good for
she
you.
did.
Okay.
Did she move on to the golf ball through a garden hose?
Goodness gracious.
And you tweeted he brought Marjorie Taylor Greene and Gates with him. Mad Dogs and Dumbasses tour. I mean, it's just... Oh.
You'll notice, by the way, that no Texas Republican was there,
Yeah.
except the already indicted lieutenant governor, who's been indicted for 8 years. I figured Trump looked on him as a role model.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. Well, that goes to show you, right? Like, even when Trump gets indicted, I'm like, how is that guy still, he's still in office, right? Like, I don't get it.
Oh, he got reelected twice since he's been indicted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that means Travis and my's dream could come true. He could run third party from prison. I don't know. Maybe. And get elected. I don't even know. Charlie, what do you, so obviously, do I have Zolofgren? Give me the next one,
All
just
right,
on this
here we
whole.
go.
He disparaged the idea that his followers should remain peaceful. This is cause for concern. We know that certainly not all of his followers are inclined to take up arms, but there's enough of them who are willing to do battle in his behalf that someone could get killed, and people were killed, obviously, on January 6th.
This just, am I the only one that feels, what is it, Jody? Fierce urgency of now? Not only him inciting violence, but also it does seem like they're sort of going supersonic on the classified documents cases because of national security.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, I don't know what the time frame is, I mean, Donald Trump is the one that said he was going to get arrested last week. Donald Trump said yesterday that Alvin Bragg has already dropped it. So I wouldn't put any stock in what he says
Yeah,
at any
he's
point.
going to have to cultivate. He's going to have to cultivate, better sources in his head
Yeah.
because the ones that are speaking to him now are obviously misleading him or don't know what's going on.
Right. I mean, I was going to say, boy, Chris, you mentioned this yesterday, but Fox sure seems to have, or at least is trying desperately to move on from Trump. Brian Kilmeade yesterday called it insane for Trump to kick off his rally with the national anthem sung by the incarcerated January 6th terrorists and footage featuring the insurrection. Because he opened with the video of the actual insurrection. And he said he opened up with the January 6th video, which is insane. He should be running from that period. I don't care his point of view. That's not a good thing for him. I thought that was absolutely awful. Even though he's winning in the polls, that will not. I think for President Trump to spend 80% of his time complaining about court cases instead of just looking at his own record and what he would have done, he does that, or other candidates do that, they're going to be unbelievably successful, because that's going to be the conversation at the kitchen table. Fox did a poll. That's 6 in 10. That's almost 60%, Chris.
Yes, I've heard.
Don't want
Yes.
Trump to run for president again. I mean, it sure seems like Fox would love to be able to move on from him.
Yes.
Look, at this point, Fox doesn't know whether to scratch his watch or wind his butt. I mean, they're trying to survive the Dominion and Smartmatic lawsuits, which the key to which is how much they put their thumb, both feet, and their big fat butt on the scale for Trump in 2020. And at the same time, they're not stupid. They realize that, that's not going to be tenable in the face of these lawsuits in 2024.
Yeah. They have
no idea what to do. And I have a feeling that that's liberated some of the on-air talent.
Well, it's interesting. There were three headlines.
The management of that place is so confused right now that the on-air talent can get away with just about anything.
Yeah.
There were three headlines just from Fox News yesterday. That one, Brian Kilmeade slamming Trump for playing the January 6th footage. This poll, 6 in 10 Americans don't want Trump to be president again. And then about how his DeSantis bashing got no response, really, at his rally. I mean, it seems like they're really rooting for DeSantis.
Well, and Laura Ingraham last night said he needs to just move on from this January 6th stuff.
Yeah. Oh, no. She said that before. I mean, you don't take the advice.
But she was really strong about it last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, but move on to where? He's got no policies.
Exactly.
Right. That is his policy.
What's he going to move on to? Is he going to go forward into the past and just run the 2016 campaign again?
Yeah, here's Laura. She said, if I were Trump and running his campaign, I don't think anyone wants to listen to that voice. I'd strongly urge him to stop talking about 2020. It's over. Enough marinating in old claims of election fraud will not win over a single voter in any state he needs to win in 2024. She's an annoying voice, but it's good advice. Don't take it, Trump. He won't take it. Talk less about yourself, more about the American people. Drop the nicknames and petty personal stuff. Wow, that's really good advice. He won't follow any of that.
No, of course not. Because he's got nothing else.
Well, Stephen Miller on that same segment with Laura Ingraham last night said, Trump introduces a policy paper every single day. It's just you guys aren't talking about it.
Oh, does he?
And Laura said, well, he's not talking about it at all.
Really, on a McDonald's wrapper? Is that what he's...
Yeah.
It's a policy paper. It's a thing.
It's a policy paper.
It's a very, very big, it's huge. This is policy of mine.
I haven't seen a single...
Very strong.
All the best people are working on it.
Yeah.
And it's hard because they're all coming to me with tears in their eyes saying, sir, I've written a great policy paper.
Sir, I have tears in my eyes.
Hey, Ron DeSantis got to be the star of a third story.
Yes, he did.
The what story?
I think that's the first time a real human being has been named in a Sir story.
Oh, yes. And Sir story. He starts everything with someone came to him and said, sir.
Right.
Yeah, it's only some big burly guy backstage.
Yeah, with tears in their eyes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this is actually an NPR Marist poll, found only 38% of national adults want Trump to be president. The majority, 61%, do not want him. 38% approval rating. I don't know, Charlie. I mean, it's just, I know we always say this, that this is not a majority of anybody, right? That it's just when you listen to Jordan Klepper interviews, you're like, oh, dear Jesus. Those all the people inhabiting the country.
I like the interview with the woman in what appeared to be a restaurant who was talking about our precious president. Our precious president is suffering like Jesus.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh, God.
And in heaven, Jesus is going, "Oh man." At that moment, I like to revert to the Sam Kinison Jesus.
There you go.
Sure, I'll go back. I'm the only guy in history who can use his hand for a whistle.
All right, Charlie, say goodbye to your lover.
Goodbye, Jody Hamilton. Have a wonderful week. My heart is always with you.
Minocqua Brewing Company is excited to partner with Equality Vines to create Choice Wine. Choice Wine comes in two choices, Rosé and Sauvignon Blanc. This wine was created to support women's reproductive rights after the Supreme Court rolled back Roe v. Wade in 2022 and caused chaos all over the country. For all you viewers on the Political Voices Network, go to choice.equalityvines.com and type in the promo code PVN to get 10% off on Choice Sauvignon Blanc and Choice Rosé.